Fasting may be one of the most powerful tools available for improving overall health. Think about it for a moment. If you stopped eating for 5 days, would your body immediately begin to fail, or would it activate some remarkable healing processes? Today, we're going to walk through what happens inside your body during days 1 through 5 of a prolonged fast. Most people believe health comes only from constantly feeding and nourishing the body, but one of the biggest challenges is that we've become accustomed to eating all the time. In reality, fasting isn't something unnatural. It's actually much closer to the way human beings lived for most of history. If you go back thousands of years, our ancestors didn't have access to food around the clock. They weren't eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, and multiple snacks every day. There were no food delivery services available 24 hours a day. Periods without food were a normal part of life, and our bodies evolved to function extremely well under those conditions. Today, many people eat constantly, often consuming highly processed foods. As a result, our bodies rarely get the chance to switch into their built-in repair mode. When you begin fasting, some incredible changes start taking place. Your brain becomes sharper, your cells become more resilient, and your body begins operating in a completely different way. Let's start with day 1. During the first day, your body uses up stored glycogen. Glycogen is essentially stored carbohydrate made from chains of glucose molecules. What many people don't realize is that glycogen also holds a significant amount of water. As glycogen is depleted, that stored water is released and eliminated. This is why many people notice a rapid drop on the scale during the first 24 hours. It's common to lose several pounds of water weight, especially if you've been retaining excess fluid. At the same time, insulin levels begin to fall. Insulin acts like a switch that determines whether your body primarily burns sugar or fat for energy. As insulin drops, your body gains easier access to stored fat reserves. This is where fasting becomes fascinating. Even though you're no longer eating food, your body isn't actually without fuel. It simply starts feeding on its own stored fat. In a sense, you're still eating. You're just eating the energy you've already stored. This shift often causes hunger to decrease dramatically. Many people are surprised by how satisfied they feel because their bodies are finally tapping into a large and efficient fuel source. As stored fat is broken down, your liver converts part of it into usable energy. Meanwhile, because food is no longer entering the digestive system, the body begins shifting priorities. Instead of focusing on growth and digestion, it starts directing more resources toward maintenance and repair. If you're planning a prolonged fast, it's important to stay on top of electrolytes. Minerals such as sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium can help support normal function and reduce symptoms like fatigue, muscle cramps, dizziness, or weakness. Trace minerals and certain vitamins may also be useful, particularly if your nutritional reserves are already low. When it comes to beverages, water should remain your primary choice. Herbal teas are also a great option. Many people enjoy naturally caffeine-free teas throughout the day. Black coffee can be used in moderation if desired, but avoid adding sugar, creamers, or artificial ingredients. Some people add a small amount of lemon to water, which generally contributes very few calories. Beyond hydration, spending time outdoors, getting sunlight, walking in nature, using heat therapy such as a sauna or hot bath, and occasionally alternating with cold exposure can all complement the fasting experience. Light exercise is often beneficial. Some individuals may include a brief high-intensity workout during a longer fast, though it should be approached carefully and according to personal tolerance. Now let's move into day 2. By this point, the body begins producing more ketones and ketosis becomes more noticeable. Ketosis is the metabolic state where fat becomes the primary fuel source. One of the most talked about benefits of ketosis is improved mental performance. Many people report better concentration, clearer thinking, and enhanced focus. Mood often improves as well. Hunger usually continues to decline during day 2, making fasting easier than many people expect. This is also when an important cellular process called autophagy starts becoming more active. Autophagy is essentially the body's internal cleanup system. It identifies damaged, dysfunctional, or unnecessary cellular components and breaks them down. The resulting materials are then recycled and reused to help build and maintain healthier cells. Rather than letting cellular debris accumulate, the body becomes incredibly efficient at reclaiming valuable resources. It's like having a highly advanced recycling center operating inside every tissue. This process is one reason fasting has gained attention as a potential tool for healthy aging. By removing damaged components and promoting cellular renewal, the body is able to function more efficiently. By day 3, ketosis becomes even deeper. At this stage, ketones are supplying a significant portion of the body's energy needs, particularly for the brain. Many people notice a dramatic improvement in mental clarity, focus, and productivity. Mood often becomes more positive, and some individuals experience a sense of calm energy or even mild euphoria. Tasks that normally feel difficult may seem easier, and concentration can remain steady for long periods. Part of this effect may be linked to increased production of a powerful brain-supporting compound known as BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF plays a major role in supporting brain health. It helps promote the growth, maintenance, and survival of neurons while supporting learning, memory, and overall cognitive performance. As BDNF levels rise, many people report feeling mentally sharper and more alert. Creative thinking often improves, and the ability to process information may feel noticeably enhanced. Research suggests that fasting can significantly increase BDNF activity, which may help explain why so many people experience improved mental performance during extended fasting periods. While results vary from person to person, day 3 is often when many of these cognitive benefits become especially noticeable. In some people, BDNF levels may rise dramatically, while in others, the increase might be more modest. Either way, by this stage, your brain is benefiting from important neurological support. Now let's talk about something even more powerful: deep autophagy. Earlier, we discussed autophagy as the body's recycling system that breaks down and reuses old, damaged cellular material, but the process goes much deeper than that. One of the most important targets of autophagy is the mitochondria, the tiny structures inside your cells that produce energy. Healthy mitochondria are essential for overall health. When these energy-producing structures become damaged, cellular function begins to decline. Through a specialized process, the body identifies malfunctioning mitochondria and removes them, allowing healthier ones to take their place. This cellular cleanup may be especially important because many long-term health issues develop silently over years or even decades before symptoms appear. Problems often begin long before they are ever detected. During an extended fast, the body shifts resources toward finding and removing damaged cellular components that may have been accumulating for years. Autophagy doesn't stop there. It can also help clear unwanted material that may be hiding inside cells, including old cellular debris, damaged proteins, and certain microorganisms that the body has been dealing with over time. By reducing this burden, the immune system may be able to function more efficiently. That brings us to another remarkable change that begins around the 72-hour mark. At approximately 3 days into a fast, the immune system starts going through a significant renewal process. Older and less efficient immune cells are broken down and recycled. This creates an opportunity for the body to replace them with newer, healthier immune cells over time. The thymus gland, located near the heart, plays a major role in training immune cells known as T cells. As we age, this gland naturally shrinks and becomes less active. Fasting appears to encourage activity in systems associated with immune renewal and regeneration. At the same time, stem cells begin preparing for increased activity. Stem cells are unique because they haven't yet specialized into a specific cell type. Think of them as the body's reserve workforce, waiting until they're needed to create new tissue. They have the ability to develop into many different kinds of cells depending on what the body requires. During the fasting period, the body begins setting the stage for stem cell activation. However, some of the most noticeable regenerative effects occur when eating resumes. The fasting phase creates the conditions, while the refeeding phase helps trigger rebuilding and renewal. A simple way to understand this is by comparing it to intense exercise. If you perform a challenging workout and push your muscles close to their limit, the real benefits don't happen during the workout itself. The improvements occur afterward during recovery and rebuilding. The same concept applies here. The fasting period creates the stimulus, while the recovery phase allows the body to respond and adapt. This is one reason a longer fast can have a greater impact. By extending the fasting period, the body has more time to activate these deep repair mechanisms before the rebuilding process begins. Another area that benefits significantly is the digestive system. Your intestinal tract stretches for roughly 27 feet and is lined by an incredibly thin layer of cells. Remarkably, this lining constantly renews itself, with many of those cells being replaced every few days. Now think about what happens when food stops entering that system for several days. For perhaps the first time in a very long time, your digestive tract gets a chance to rest. Instead of continuously processing meals, absorbing nutrients, and responding to potential irritants, it can focus more energy on repair and maintenance. Considering how much processed and inflammatory food many people consume regularly, giving the digestive system a temporary break may provide an opportunity for restoration that rarely occurs in modern life. Another major change around day 3 is a substantial increase in growth hormone production. Many people assume growth hormone is only important during childhood, but it continues to play valuable roles throughout adulthood. While it helps children grow, in adults, it supports recovery, tissue maintenance, and protection of lean muscle mass. This increase in growth hormone is one reason people do not simply waste away during a multi-day fast. The body has built-in mechanisms designed to preserve important tissues while using stored fat for energy. By day 4, fat burning reaches an extremely efficient level. At this stage, hunger is often dramatically reduced or completely absent. This surprises many people because they assume that going without food should make them hungrier with each passing day. In reality, many fasters report the opposite experience. The reason is simple. Your body is no longer relying on incoming food for energy. It has fully adapted to using stored fat as its primary fuel source. Since energy needs are being met, the constant drive to eat often fades into the background. For many people, hunger is strongest during the transition period. Once fat adaptation becomes established, appetite frequently becomes much easier to manage. One thing worth mentioning is stress. Emotional stress or unexpected challenges can increase cortisol levels. When cortisol rises, the body may release stored glucose, which can temporarily trigger feelings of hunger even during a successful fast. If that happens, a small amount of bone broth can be incredibly helpful. The amino acids and minerals it provides often make people feel much better and can help them continue comfortably. For those struggling during a prolonged fast, this simple strategy can make a significant difference. Underneath all of these changes, something even bigger is taking place. Your body is activating countless repair pathways and survival mechanisms. Genes associated with maintenance, protection, adaptation, and longevity begin receiving stronger signals. The body recognizes that resources are limited, so it shifts into a mode designed to preserve function, improve efficiency, and maximize long-term survival. Rather than shutting down, the body becomes remarkably resourceful, focusing its energy on repair, renewal, and resilience. By day 4, your body has shifted heavily into protection and preservation mode. Many of the genes associated with resilience, repair, and long-term survival become more active. It's as if the body is turning on systems that are normally sitting in the background while you're constantly eating. One of the changes taking place involves your natural antioxidant defenses. While antioxidants can certainly come from food, your body is also capable of producing powerful antioxidant compounds on its own. During fasting, these internal defense systems become more active, helping protect cells from everyday wear and tear. Your gut microbes are also adapting. Just like humans evolved in environments where food wasn't always available, microorganisms have developed survival strategies over millions of years. In nature, microbes regularly face periods of drought, scarcity, and environmental stress. The microbial community living inside you responds in a similar way. During fasting, it begins adapting, becoming more efficient, and in many cases, more diverse. At the same time, your body becomes better at managing energy. Instead of relying on a constant stream of incoming calories, it learns how to use stored fuel more effectively and recycle resources more efficiently. This is one of the reasons fasting can improve overall metabolic flexibility. Your hormonal system also becomes more responsive. Rather than constantly being stimulated, hormone receptors often become more sensitive, allowing hormones to work more efficiently when they are needed. Some temporary hormonal adjustments may occur during an extended fast. For example, Reproductive hormones can decrease because the body recognizes that food is limited and shifts its focus toward survival rather than reproduction. Women may notice temporary changes in their menstrual cycle during longer fasting periods. Similarly, thyroid hormone activity may decrease slightly as the body conserves energy. This isn't necessarily a sign that something is wrong. It's simply an adaptation to reduced calorie intake and generally returns to normal once regular eating resumes. Meanwhile, autophagy continues operating at an extremely high level. The body remains focused on identifying and removing damaged cellular material, dysfunctional proteins, unhealthy tissue, and other unnecessary cellular components. This ongoing cleanup process supports overall cellular health and contributes to a significant reduction in inflammation. As inflammation decreases, many people notice improvements in how they feel physically and mentally. The body is no longer dedicating so much energy to processing food and managing inflammatory responses. Instead, that energy can be directed toward maintenance, repair, and recovery. Then comes day 5. At this point, many of the benefits that began earlier in the fast continue to build. However, the next step becomes just as important as the fasting period itself: refeeding. After several days without food, your digestive system has been operating at a much lower level of activity. Because of this, jumping straight into a large meal is usually not a good idea. The goal is to wake the digestive system up gradually rather than overwhelming it. A gentle approach works best. Start with a small amount of food, perhaps around a quarter of what you would normally eat. Something simple like an egg alongside a small serving of fermented vegetables can be a good option. After waiting a few hours, you might add a light soup or some avocado. Later, you could include a few berries or a small handful of nuts. The key is patience. Give your digestive system time to adjust before returning to larger meals. Overloading it too quickly may lead to nausea, stomach discomfort, bloating, or fatigue. Bone broth is another excellent choice during the refeeding process because it provides easily absorbed nutrients, amino acids, minerals, and hydration while being gentle on digestion. Many people also choose to avoid large amounts of sugar and highly processed carbohydrates during this transition. After giving your body several days to focus on repair, it makes sense to provide it with nutrient-dense foods that support rebuilding. This rebuilding phase is where many exciting changes begin to happen. The body shifts from a repair-focused state into a growth and regeneration phase. The groundwork has already been laid during the fast. Now, with nutrients becoming available again, the body can use those resources to rebuild tissues and strengthen systems throughout the body. That's why food quality matters so much after a prolonged fast. Nutrient-rich foods such as high-quality meats, pasture-raised eggs, healthy fats, vegetables, and other minimally processed foods provide the raw materials needed for recovery and renewal. As this rebuilding process unfolds, many people report improvements in skin quality, physical recovery, mental clarity, joint comfort, and overall well-being. The body is essentially responding to the challenge it just experienced by becoming stronger and more efficient. One of the most fascinating aspects of fasting is that it activates biological pathways that may remain largely inactive when food is constantly available. Certain protective genes associated with cellular repair, DNA maintenance, mitochondrial function, and brain health appear to become more active during these periods of temporary food deprivation.